So you have written your magnum opus, you have written a great story, with a great plot, great action sequences, everything. That's your dream story, and you want to get it out there. Um, you want to get it published. You want to see the book in your hand, and there is nothing wrong about that. But the publishing industry in India is it's quite complex, to say the least. Um, Once you have your final draft in your hands, uh, my advice would be to follow these simple steps, because I just went through everything. Number one would be to go through it again, re-edit it, because no matter how hard you try, there are going to be some editing errors that are just going to creep in. It happened with me when I published my book, and I think it happens with everyone, no matter how big of a literary genius we consider ourselves to be. Number two is, once you are done with everything, go and visit the websites of all the popular publishers, literary agents, everyone you can find in town. See their guidelines, see what kind of work they like, and visit a few websites of the authors who have written like sample synopsis, sample tips, or how the tips that how they pitched their ideas to publishers. Number three, send email to everyone in town, all the big publishers, all the agents you can find. Send them an email and just wait, because it takes a lot of time to get a reply from them. Number four would be, if you want, you can self-publish your book, and I would definitely recommend it to any authors like me who are just starting out, because it's fun. It's totally fun, because when you're writing a book, you're really protective about your art. It's your creative license. It's your product, and you want to sell it. You want to be best-selling author and everything. But when you start selling it on your own, when you self-publish your book, that is when the magic happens. That is when you start understanding about how the industry works, how the readers behave. To tell you the truth, when I published my book, I had almost 29,000 followers on Quora, and that was my main motivation, because I was like, if I have so many followers, they're definitely going to buy it. And so I self-published it through KDP, and I sold just 11 copies on the very first day, and I was really upset, because I had marketed the book, I had done a lot of things, and the books weren't just selling. And that is, I think, the most major drawback about self-publishing, especially through Amazon, because when you're publishing through KDP, you are just getting the ebooks out. There are going to be no paperbacks, and there are hardly people you can find who have Kindles with them who will definitely buy it. Thankfully, a lot of my readers have bought the books on Kindle apps on their phones, and that was after marketing it a lot and after posting the reviews, which were thankfully glorious. That's something that you can go with. Publishing through KDP is going to be a whole new experience, I think, because it gives you an understanding as to what it takes to actually sell your book. You have to market it, you have to create the book covers, you have to write the synopsis, you have to approach people, you have to do a lot of things that you probably wouldn't have done, because you would have rather stayed in your comfort zone and let the publishers do the main things. And the best part about it is the 70% royalty which KDP offers, which no one will offer you if you're getting published. I think 10% would be the royalty for your work if you go through any big publisher. The part which is most exciting is that if you publish through KDP or any self-publishing platform, you can always approach the publishers after that. I mean, The publishers take their own sweet time to reply back to you, so you have like this 4, 5, 6 month period window where you can experiment and you can see how your work is actually doing in the market, how the readers are responding, what are your strengths, what will be your weaknesses, and everything. So I think that's what I would suggest to any author who's just starting out, because the power of internet is everything. All my marketing, everything that I did was through internet, be it book trailers or contacting guys to make drawings, or cover designing, publishing, marketing, everything. I'm even selling it through internet. That's all because all the copies that I've sold so far are in ebooks format. There has been no paperback as of now. I don't have the hard copy of my own book with myself, so but it would work if you invest your time, if you understand your audience, if you market it correctly. I was selling about 10 books a day when I just published my book, and then I marketed it like anything. I created book trailers, I applied a lot of innovative strategies, and within 12 days it became a bestseller on Amazon. It stayed in the top 10 charts. It was in top 5 in the hot and new releases in India. So I think that's the kind of exposure that you can get if you publish it on KDP. You can also pay publishers. There are a few out there who will just ask you to pay like 1 lakh or 2 lakh up front, and you can get your works out. But there's a lot of chance that all those hard copies might just end up staying with you. And if you get a publisher, it's all well and good. If you can get an agent, you can get that too. I mean, the agents reply really quickly comparatively. I have been in contact with 4 literary agents, 4 big literary agents in India so far, and I send them all proposals less than a month back. So if you go through that, they'll obviously take up their chunk. Some of them will ask you to pay up front. Some of them will get like 10% of the royalties that you're receiving or something like that. So it's all about how things work out for you. As far as fantasy novels are concerned, I myself wrote an epic fantasy novel before writing a treasure hunt, because I think fantasy market in India is non-existent. There are hardly any good epic fantasy works you can find in India. I can think of one. I think Simocan Prophecies is one that was published by Penguin, but I don't recall any big epic fantasy novels coming out of India. But obviously, I think if you pitch it to right publishers, if you've written a good story and you have the luck favoring you, you can get your fantasy novels out too. Self-publishing it can go a long way, because you can have that kind of pitch that I have sold so many works already and I can sell so many more, and the publishers will have that kind of trust in you. So you can try that. Being a self-published author so far, and someone who has started out just months back, I would definitely suggest you to go the self-publishing way. Go through KDP, earn your 70% royalties, earn your money, but above all, market your book yourself. See what kind of efforts it takes to just convince a few readers to pick your book out. And it doesn't matter if you're selling 50 copies or 100 copies. What matters is that you're gaining an understanding as to what it takes to sell your book, because that is something that the authors should also know apart from writing their own books. So you can try that. Thanks.